Hi there. I wanted to think aloud for you about my thoughts based on Andrew's reading of The Crying Mountain, a Mexican Legend, and the running record that I took. Starting out, you'll see on my running record that I only have made marks based on what Andrew did as a reader. For example, rereading, making an error in how to say a word, self-correcting, things of that nature. For me personally, when I'm doing a formative assessment, I know that it's just for me and my records, and all I need to do is mark what I hear him doing that is out of the ordinary, either a strength or a weakness, and that will help me when I'm thinking about next steps for him. I have found personally that as I get into more complex text, that it's much harder for me to do those tick marks for every single word. And so I go ahead and just make marks for what a student does that is slightly out of the ordinary. That's what you'll see from mine. And that's what helps me when I go back and analyze, because I know for a formative assessment that really this is just for me as a teacher to figure out what I'm doing for Andrew, his strengths and next steps. And so that's why you'll see that my running record looks the way that it does. In thinking about strengths now for Andrew as a reader, I felt that as a cold read for him, that went fairly fluently. He did some rereading, which makes me think that he is thinking about the text and making sense of it in his mind as he's reading. There was some expression that he used, and he was also able to read that text fairly accurately. A few mistakes, obviously, with some of those unknown words and names, but for the most part, he was able to read accurately that text. That leads me now to what I think Andrew can work on and where I, as a teacher, can help him and support him. I recognize his struggle with the names of the characters as well as the place that the story was taking place. And so one strategy that we might talk about would be how to attack unknown words that are in other languages. When I reference the stage of reading development, this is a common characteristic of Stage 6, Evolving Reader, and I'm using the booklet right in front of me here to just see that. The other thing that I've noticed is that while Andrew has moved into more of a fictional genre liking, that he isn't sure what to do with structures that he's not familiar with. I had said before he reads a lot of those A to Z mystery books, which are very patterned and very much the same. Pushing him out of that comfort zone into a historical fiction text, he felt as a reader that he wasn't sure he knew what he read about. Well, I would kind of venture to disagree, and I think that this is a great place for me to find out more about what he can do when faced with these different structures, as well as helping him with what to do, how to use what you already know about fiction to help you build upon and learn more about. One of the pieces that I see in the stages of reading development under a major focus or goal for this stage is learning and experimenting with before, during, and after reading strategies. I think that's a great place for Andrew and I to step as a instructional group. There are more sophisticated plots. It's a wider range of genres in this in these stages here, in this particular stage, and that this vocabulary continues to expand and go beyond readers' own irony and whimsy to create memorable characters. These are things, as I'm looking through the focuses of the stage of development here for Evolving Reader, that I feel like Andrew's ready to tackle and take on with teacher support. So as I'm thinking about what kind of text choice I'm going to make for him in an instructional group with me, I'm really going to be thinking about what kind of structure the text has and where I can help support Andrew.